write each of the following in index form, okay? So I'm going to write out the whole thing, and then we'll do it in index form. Okay, so here's what we've got.
So it's 3 to the power of 2 and then 2 to the power of 3.
Hold on. There you go. Okay. Okay, so yeah, they're all multiplication. Now, this is a good time for me to mention. Yeah.
Wait, I'll let you do.
Yeah, okay, and then you can. Yeah, good. Now's a good time to mention that you've got to be very careful in this topic more than any other about how you do your timeses and how you do your x's, okay? Because if you're like me, those look a lot like x's, right? So you've got to do something to make sure you can distinguish them. Okay, so here's some options for you, okay? You can do an X like that. That's okay, I can tell that apart. You can do an X like this. You can see it's similar, right? But I'm going to say don't do your X's like that. Because that's multiplication, okay? So don't mix them up, right? Yeah.
Couldn't you make it like capital X?
I think capitals are tricky. The reason why is because, you know, is that a capital, that there, is that a capital or is that lowercase? It's like, well, I think size is too easy a thing to mistake. So that's why I think these are safe. Sorry?
Capitals are misleading. See how they're just a square? They can fit in a box. Capitals fit in a rectangle.
Yeah, I don't know though. I think it's too easy to mistake for each other. It's too simple, too close to each other. Okay. Now, here's what we've got, okay? We want this in index form, right? Right now, this is what's called factor form, okay? This is factor form. The reason why is because factors are the things that go together to make a product, and that's what that is. Okay. So I want to separate out all the different bases, okay? So for instance, 2 and 3, those numbers, right? You can write that as 2 times 3 separately, right? But that's the factors. I just want them all together. So I'm going to write that as a 6. Okay. So I'm going to put those together. Okay, is that right? Here, I got a pair of A's, right? So to be A to the, now let's be, let's be better, let's be more precise in our language. A to the power of 2 or A squared is fine as well. Okay.
And then B.
And then you've got 3 B's, right? So B to the power of 3 or B cubed. There you go. Okay. So there's index form. There. And there's factor form. So you can go back and forth between the two. Okay. Multiplication with indices or powers or exponents, whichever you like. They're all the same. Yep. Okay. Now, we did some examples of this in very simple terms. But what we want to do now is be a lot faster at it, a little more automatic, okay? So for example, let's have a look at 1a, okay? Now let's say simplify first, and you get given this in index form, okay? Now, there's a couple of ways we could approach this, right? We could say, let's just write the whole thing out. Let's write the whole thing out in factor form and see what we get, okay? So let's try that first. All right, this one is 3 times 3. There you go. That's 3 squared. Okay.
Times.
Here is where you're looking at. Okay. It's there, but you can look here now. It's fine. Okay.
And times 3, times 3, times 3.
Okay, yeah. So now I've got 2 3s here. Now I've got another 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. It's out in factor form now. Okay. But they're all 3s, so I can count up just like I did before. How many are there in total? I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I can rewrite this as 3 to the power of 6. Okay. Now, there's got to be a faster way than this, right? Like this here takes forever. And it'll take even longer if, for example, if I made you do 3 to the power of 20 times 3 to the power of 40, you'd be writing 3s for like 5 minutes, right? And then you'd have to count them all up. Now, how many 3s will there be? The answer is, you write 20 here, and then you write another 40, you'll get 60 in total, right? Now, before I write 60, where do we get that from? what you did was you added 20 and 40. You see that? Okay, now watch. This is tricky, right? When you multiply two numbers with the same base but different indices or different powers, okay? You don't multiply the powers, you add the powers. You see that? You all told me 3 to the power of 60, which is right, okay? You gotta watch out for that, okay? So I might even write that down over on the side here, okay? As an explanation of what we're doing here, and you should do the same, okay? When multiplying numbers with the same base, okay, it's important that they're both 3s, right? Like if one of them was a 3 and one was a 5, when you put them together, they don't mix together, do they? They're still 3s and 5s. So if they've got the same base, right, and you multiply them, we add their indices. This fits exactly what we had before. I'm multiplying numbers with the same base. They're all base 3, same one I chose earlier, right? So in order to get the answer at the end without writing everything out, like this would be a lot of 3s, right? All I have to do, and this step you should write it down, it's an important next step to have, is it's 3 to the power of, and now I'm going to add up all the indices. Add them, right? So it'll be 10, there's 1, 3, and 5. You add up all of them together, okay? So 10 plus 3 plus 5 is 18. 3 to the power of 18. Got it?
Done.